So about a year ago, Ram joined the electric truck revolution with the introduction of a full battery electric version of the Ram called the Ram Rev. But as you guys know, electric trucks have really raised a big question, especially with towing that involves range anxiety. So for 2025, Ram seems to have a solution to that with the introduction of this truck here. This is the 2025 Ram 1500 Ramcharger, an all-electric truck that also has a gas engine under the hood that basically recharges the battery so it works as an onboard generator. So today we're actually out here in Austin, Texas. This is my first time seeing the Ram 1500 Ramcharger, so let's go ahead and finally take a first look. So for 2025, Ram seems to think that they've solved range anxiety with electric trucks by introducing this Ramcharger. Now, the name Ramcharger is not new. The last time we saw a vehicle that had this name, it was a Dodge. It was kind of like a family SUV that was from the 1970s all the way up into the 1990s. So now that they brought it back on a truck application, it's kind of the perfect name for an all-electric truck that's built on the STLA platform that also has a 3.6-liter V6 under the hood that basically serves as an onboard generator. Now, this is a very early pre-production truck, so sadly I can't open the doors or open up the hood or basically get inside the truck to show you, but let's go ahead and talk about some of the powertrain specs, because you're probably noticing on this side there are two doors here. This right here is for the fuel tank. This vehicle has a 27-gallon fuel tank on board that basically allows it to, again, extend the range to up to 690 miles when you basically have it with a full charge battery and the gas engine supplying that power to the battery pack. And then over here at the front, you can see there's there's a door here for basically the plug that allows you to basically plug it into a J1772 or a DC fast charger. This vehicle has roughly a 92 kilowatt hour battery pack. About 70.8 is actually going to be usable, and Ram says that on the battery pack alone, you can go up to 145 miles of range. That doesn't sound like a lot, obviously, but again, we have that V6 under the hood providing the additional power to basically recharge the battery, because remember, the interesting twist about this powertrain here is that V6 is not connected to the drive wheels. The drive wheels are only driven by the electric motors. There's one in the front, one at the back, and then the engine serves as just a generator to recharge that battery pack. Ram also says you can DC fast charge this vehicle. It'll accept up to 175 kilowatts on a 400 volt level 3 system, which basically allows you to add about 50 miles of range in about 10 minutes of just sitting there at a charger. So again, relatively quick, but not as fast as the Ram Rev, because remember, the Ram Rev runs on the 800 volt architecture. It's not really necessary for this truck because, again, it has that gas engine. Now, in terms of power output, you can get up to 663 horsepower and 615 pound-feet of torque. If you're keeping score, that's actually a little bit more horsepower, about 9 more horsepower versus the fully electric Ram Rev that is right behind Rob, which is kind of interesting. Ram says that you'll get to 60 in around 4.4 seconds, and you'll also be able to tow up to 14,000 pounds and carry a maximum of 2,300 pounds of payload in the bed of the truck. So again, in terms of the styling for this vehicle, you can see Ram kind of did a good job of kind of blending, of course, the unique front fascia that you get with the Ram Rev with, of course, the front fascia that you get with the updated gasoline ICE Ram. So you can see this trim that I'm showing you is the limited trim. Ram says that you will be able to get the Ramcharger in several different core trims of the Ram. You can see the headlights. They've got the new updated full LED headlights that also offer like an animation function. The different twist, of course, is the fact that we now have this LED light bar that kind of goes into the grille, into the Ram logo over here. This limited trim kind of has this nice gloss black grille, which has been slightly enlarged. This kind of silver exterior goes good with the overall lines of the Ramcharger. You can see this right here is the radar sensor for the adaptive cruise, which is now standard. This vehicle is also offered with hands-free active driving assist, so that's basically Ram's version of Super Cruise or Ford's Blue Cruise. And then you can see the hood. I can't open up the hood, but this is where you're going to find the internal combustion engine. Of course, it's been modified because it can't actually allow you to power the drive wheels from just the internal combustion engine alone. Now, moving around to the side profile of the truck, you can see you're going to be able to tell it's a Ramcharger, not just from the front fascia, but there's also a little badge here that says 1500 Ramcharger. On the gas versions, it'll say SST for straight 6 turbo and either standard output or high output. So this is going to let everyone know you've got basically a plug-in hybrid, although you can't really call it a traditional plug-in hybrid because it doesn't have, the engine powering the wheels. You can see the wheels themselves. These are a 22-inch wheel that you get with the limited trim. You can see it's riding on a 275 by 50 or 22-inch tire. This truck here, because it's built on the STLA architecture, it has an independent front and rear suspension, and of course you can get that air suspension, which will give this truck truck. Again, amazing ride quality. The wheels themselves have an interesting aerodynamic cover to them in between the spokes. I actually like the way the wheels look with the two-tone design. It really fills out the wheel wells nicely. I also like the full paint finish that you get along the side of the truck. You have these black painted side mirrors here, black painted door handles. You can also get a panoramic sunroof, which this one has. This one also has kind of like a brown interior. I can sort of see it through the window, but I can't unfortunately show it to you. We'll have to wait until April so we can get the final details on that. Hey guys, so while we couldn't show you the actual interior of the Ramcharger because that was a very early pre-production truck, I actually switched over to an ICE version in the limited trim. So it's technically the same trim. And when we peeked into the interior of the Ramcharger, it pretty much had the same thing. So we'll go over this interior kind of like we're going over the Ramcharger, but just know there could be a couple of key differences to differentiate the plug-in hybrid model from the internal combustion only version. Now the plug-in hybrid or the Ramcharger had a brown interior. As you can see, this limited trim has the black interior. This is kind of like a two-tone look with the contrasting white stitching and piping. It has kind of like this two-tone cloth with a actual leather insert. These seats are also heated and ventilated, and you can also get it with a massage function. Now, I'm not entirely sure the massage function is going to be on the Ramcharger, but you can see this limited truck definitely has a really nice interior. In terms of the screen sizes, you can see all the Rams pretty much got updates for 2025, which include a new 12.3-inch fully digital instrument cluster, which is slightly customizable. You can basically put your gauge display here. You can also use these little buttons here to put a slightly different look to the tachometer. You can also put your GPS function in here, along with your driver assistance, your audio information. That all looks very nice. The steering wheel, as you can see, has a manual tilt and telescoping function. There's a new kind of little display here, or it's like a little sensor that kind of watches your face. This is for the new highway driving assist hands-free function, which I'll be testing out when I actually get one of these trucks out on the road. And then over here in the center display, you can see this is their latest Uconnect 5 head unit, but just like in the Ramcharger, this now has a 14.5-inch display. So the standard display is 8.4 inches, going up to a 12-inch. This is the wider, it's slightly wider 14.5-inch display. I also love how Ram kind of made this display bigger, but it doesn't have that silly kind of stick onto the dash tablet look. It very much looks well integrated to the dash. You have some real wood trim, you have some real alloy trim, you have actual knobs and buttons for your audio information, for your climate control function. You can see your gear selectors here. I'm not entirely sure if this gear selector will look different on the Ramcharger. You can see you probably won't have these four-wheel drive buttons here because the Ramcharger will be fully electric, so that's something to keep in mind. You can see my phone is also connected via the Apple CarPlay, which looks fantastic. It's wireless. It also is very quick and snappy, so I imagine this screen will pretty much be the same. You can see there's also an air suspension button here. You can adjust the vehicle up and down, which is a nice touch. You have 6 USB-C charging ports here. There are technically 3 USB-Cs and USB-As. You have an HDMI port, and you have dual wireless phone charging pads here, which again, really nice touch. Ram basically added that to all the upper trim 2025 Rams. You can see this also slides forward and back. You have a nice little storage area here. Your cup holders are going to be found along with a little more storage over here. And then here's the key fob for the truck. You can see the Limited has a slightly different look to the key versus the tungsten trim, but you can see there's usual buttons here for unlock, lock. You can also open up the tailgate. You can also up and raise and lower the air suspension. Ram also offers a phone as a key function, which I imagine will also be included on the Ramcharger. This little center console area you can see is nice and padded. You have a Limited badge here. Open this up. You can see nice storage area, and you can also kind of slide this forward and back to increase or decrease the size of that. And then over here, there's a new 10.5-inch or 10.25-inch passenger display. Now from my angle, I can't see the display, but you can see from where Rob is showing you, you can kind of show your audio information, you can show your GPS function, you can also stream from the HDMI plug your own separate device, so that all looks fantastic. If you don't have the display, you'll actually have a secondary glove compartment, but the screen, as you can see, looks pretty nice. You have a glove box here, which is damped but not lined with felt. It's a bin style, which is nice. The massage seat function also works really nicely. It's basically the same massage with 5 different types of massage with 3 different intensities that you find in something like the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. But let me go ahead and hop into the back seat, because just like on the Ramcharger, this model here has the crew cab configuration, which means you have around 45 inches of legroom back here. 45 inches is the most in the segment. Now, I'm not entirely sure if the Ramcharger is going to have less, because remember, the battery pack is going to basically be in between the frame rails, so it might do something to the interior space. So we'll have to wait until we can actually get into a production Ramcharger to show you guys that. You can see the seats do flip up, which is definitely a nice touch, which you can basically put them back down as well. And then when you get back in here, you can see one of the cool features about the backseat of the crew cab model Once I shut the door, you can see if I pull that same lever here, I can actually recline the seat for the rear seat. This is a segment exclusive feature, and it's only on the Ram when you go for the crew cab model. So again, really, really nice touch. In terms of other materials back here, beautiful leather stitching along the upper door panels, more of that wood and quilted leather here, which is a nice touch, padded over here. Window controls, these are not one touch up or down in the back seat, which is funny. The front seat area, or only the front seat windows are one touch up down. There's also no retractable shades here. I would have liked to see that. You do still have some nice touches here, like heated and ventilated rear seats. I'm not sure if the Ramcharger will offer that, but you do have these, you know, vents, you have cup holders, you have power outlets over here. And if you fold this down here, you can see there's a nice armrest that gives you 2 cup holders. So obviously the Ramcharger could have a slightly different interior, especially in terms of the storage and in terms of the legroom, but you guys have to see for 2025, all the Ram models essentially got an updated interior, and this is definitely one of the roomiest cabins that you're gonna find in the segment. And then looking at the back of the truck, you can see you still get features like the Ram box, which you can also get on the ICE trucks as well. That independent rear suspension, like I mentioned, with the air suspension is definitely a unique feature, but it's also kind of what you expect to find on electric trucks because the F-150 Lightning also has that feature. And then moving around the rear of the truck, you can see the design is also kind of taking some pages from the Ram Rev. So you have this updated LED taillight design that has this LED light bar that kind of goes into the tailgate themselves. This is unique, of course, to the Rev and the Ramcharger. It has the new Ram logo at the back that kind of has the script that you kind of associate with the electric versions. There's also the badging there for the limited badge along with a 4x4 badge. Remember, this has dual electric motors. And then in terms of the bed, I can't open up the tailgate to show you. There is a new power fold and open feature with an obstacle detection. But what's interesting about the Ramcharger is the fact that you do have onboard power in this truck. So basically, you've got 2 outlets here along with your usual LED lighting and whatnot. Ram says this will supply up to 7.2 kilowatts, which is a pretty big upgrade versus the 2 kilowatts that you get in just the ICE version. So that's kind of similar to what Ford offers in like their Power Boost hybrid feature. So eventually I'll be looking forward to getting my hands on this. Now, sadly, I don't have final pricing information of this truck. We only have basically speculation, but Ram says that you should be able to get one of these in early 2025, which is going to be after, of course, the all-electric Ram Rev. If you guys are wondering what the price of that will be, kind of just look at something like the F-150 Lightning that starts at around $50,000. I expect Ram's going to probably target that, but again, this one here, a fully loaded limited, will probably end up being a lot more, but you'll have to wait until April, of course, where we can finally get our hands on one of these trucks in person, and we can see what it's like in terms of the features and availability and what the trim specs are going to be. But with all that said, hope you guys have enjoyed my quick overview on this 2025 Ram 1500 Ramcharger. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Redline_reviews, like us on Facebook, and as always, guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.